This afternoon, you're going to be looking for visual aids for your speech that you're giving next week. When you pull up this document, you're going to notice that you've got a table. Up here, I've explained everything you need to know to fill this out. The first column is going to tell you what paragraph you are on. The second column is going to describe the types of items you are looking for. The third column is asking you to find a link to a picture you could show for your visual aid. The next column is looking for an item or object or thing you could bring in to show your classmates. This last column describes what you're going to say when you actually talk about the item that you choose. If you've noticed, I've got an example in the next row. This is for my introduction of my speech. The introduction explains who I am and tells where I grew up, who I grew up with, and my thesis. I found this link to the Iowa State website, which has the icon of the Iowa State Cyclones. I could also bring in a stuffed animal I had when I was a baby. I chose to bring in the Iowa State picture because I'm a Cyclone fan and I grew up in Ames. Everyone in my family is Cyclone fans, so we all cheer for the Cyclones. This box here is what I would say during my speech, and it should go on my note cards. If you notice down below, you're going to see your own paper. So first, I want you to describe your introduction, just like I did above. The introduction explains who you are, tells where you grew up, and what your thesis is. What is one picture you could find on the internet that would tell where you grew up or who you grew up with? Then, what is one item you could bring in that would show who you grew up with or where you grew up? The last column, you should choose one of those items and tell me what you're going to say in your speech to describe it. Next, you're going to explain your likes. Remember, in your paper, you should have 1 or 2 items that you listed that you like. So here, you should bring in a picture of one of those items. You should find the link to that item and copy and paste it in this box. Next, you should tell me, maybe bring in the item itself. For example, if I liked to play basketball, I would bring in a basketball. Since I liked to read Harry Potter, I brought in the Harry Potter Prisoner of Azkaban book. This last box, remember, you should explain how you're going to talk about that in your paper. You should do this for every item on this list. That way, you make sure that you have enough items to hit the requirement and enough items to increase the length of your speech. If you have any questions, feel free to email either me or Ms. Hutchison.